Hi everyone, I'm Sarah Michel with another weekly challenge to God. I know it's been over 2 weeks since my last challenge. I've been quite sick. I had a pretty bad cold. Still a bit sick. You can probably tell by my voice. Having a nice cup of tea with a cocktail of drugs in it. It's good for your health. And yeah, that's the reason why I've been quiet for over 2 weeks and haven't done any challenge since my last one. Now, the challenge, for those who haven't seen yet, it's about asking God, excuse me, asking God to provide any evidence that He exists. Now, it's a live stream. I'm going to talk about a topic for a few minutes, and let's see if God is going to turn up, show Himself, and just put an end to this atheist business once and for all, and just shut me and every other atheist up, and just do any demonstration that He exists. If He's all powerful, all knowing, and He cares about us and what we think and how do we feel about God, it's an opportunity for Him to do something. And anyone can accuse me from not trying, not giving enough try to. Now, what I want to talk about today is something I hear quite not so quite often, but I hear often, every now and then, from believers that say that atheists are obsessed with God and religion, mostly obsessed with God. Like, if we don't believe in God, why we spend so much time talking about it? And this live stream sessions that I do, it's might be used as example by some who might try to criticize me. Now, that is not true that most atheists spend so much time caring about it. Most atheists I know don't really give a shit. I used not to care. I've been an atheist most of my life. I had a loss where I really tried hard to believe in the afterlife and that kind of stuff, coping with the loss of a loved one. And yeah, after a few years questioning it, I've never been so sure. I've never been sure about afterlife and any of that stuff. And the more I thought about it, the less I started believing in it. And I just ended up becoming an atheist again. I called myself an agnostic for quite a while, and I just really didn't care, and because I didn't want to think about it. And that is one of the reasons why I do this, because I know a lot of people don't just want, they might have questions, they don't want to think about it. So I just want to be another voice out there, putting out that I also think about it. I also used to have questions. I still do, and I understand why you might not want to think about it, but it might be good. There is something quite liberating about being an atheist and not believing in afterlife and thinking that's all we got and we should just make the best of it. Some people are scared that doing such thing will just turn them into cynic assholes. Now, I probably am a bit of a cynic, but I still have empathy. I still have, my sense of morality. I still believe in the rule of law and that kind of thing. And I don't see why there is absolutely no reason why someone would automatically become a twat just because they are atheists. That doesn't make any sense. And as humans don't seem to be the only animals that have empathy, that care for another. It just seems something that is common across the animal kingdom. That's how we usually behave. We just care for one another and care for the well-being of our group, and especially of our families. So it's not something you need God. You don't need God for that. That is also something I already talked about, how believing in God doesn't really give you anything. It's just something that is required for believing in religion. Now, at this sessions here, this streams, I don't want to talk about religion. I will talk about religion in my vlogs, not so much in these live streams. And this is more about God. And the reason why I talk so much about God is, well, I care a lot about philosophy. It's one of my favorite topics. I also like science a lot. I'm not a scientist, but I like reading about it quite often. And there are a lot of people out there in YouTube who make videos debunking bad ideas. Now, that's fine. I could do that. But that has been done enough. It has been done so many times. And there are pretty good people, pretty good channels that do that kind of thing. And I don't think there is much more I could do to contribute to that. So instead of debunking, what I do is I just give my arguments, I give my reasons to why I am an atheist and why I think believing in a personal God is just a bad idea. Now, what I do is not so much debunking arguments, but giving arguments for the atheist position. That's my intentions with these streams are. So it's not so much that I am obsessed with God, but in these streams I give my reasons why believing in God is such a bad idea, and why especially believing in a personal God, an all-powerful entity that is up there just working for you and in benefit for you, is just, it's not only arrogant, but also gives reason, gives motivation and justification for people to do the most horrible things. Now, if you think about honor killings, for example, something that a person would only do if they believe there is an all-powerful being that allows them to do such a thing. You know, if you're doing something in the name of God, you are free to do anything because you are absolved for anything. It just gives you carte blanche to do whatever. And, you know, terrorist attacks, other example, you know, if you're killing in the name of God, you are going to end up in paradise, even if you killed a bunch of innocent people who've never done anything wrong to harm you. So this is the kind of thing that I want to fight against, and not specific with any religions here, but specifically with the idea of God, and why the idea of a personal God just doesn't make any sense, and it's completely irrational to believe in such thing. You can only believe it based on faith, and irrational faith, something not based by any reason, but in fact the suppression of reason. You have to suspend any rational thought and not make important questions in order to believe in such a thing. And this is why I do this, because I think religion still plays a big role in the world. It still influences a lot of people, and this idea of a personal God still is very much present and motivates people to do horrible things, motivates people to take rights from others. And I care about that. I do. I care about how our society is going, and I just want to, you know, be another voice out there and saying how I feel. When I started to do this YouTube channel, I just want to talk about whatever I feel like, and atheism is a big part of my concerns. It's something I think a lot, and especially I started thinking a lot after I had an important loss in my life. So it's also like, you know, putting out that you shouldn't, just because you lost someone, hold on to something that you don't believe in and not think about it just because it makes you feel good. If you care about truth, if you care about reason and living your life according to, you know, what is most likely to be true, and etc., you have to make these hard questions and challenge yourself, and maybe come to conclusions that might be uncomfortable, but in the end will actually make you feel better and make you feel more liberated. If there is no afterlife, I don't really care if I am a celebrity, if I'm famous, if I'm rich. What matters is the now. What happens after I die won't matter because I'll be dead. But afterlife is something I want to talk in another video. So yeah, it's been 10 minutes and no God. God hasn't showed up. God hasn't provided any sort of proof that he exists. Hasn't, I don't know, zapped me into oblivion, whatever. Hasn't done anything. And he can't do anything because he doesn't exist. There is no God. I'm Sarah Michel. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Cheers.